Hey guys, and welcome to our apiary. We're Colorado Wild Honey, and we're brand new. We've been beekeeping for about 4 or 5 years now. This is where we have installed our hives for this year. Hopefully it's a new permanent location. We had to move them from another field on this ranch, which is located just north of Colorado Springs, and it is something that we hope that we will have for many, many years to come. But we wanted to kind of show you how everything is set up. We have a total of 7 hives, although only 5 are functioning right now. It's got some nice, somewhat some wind blockage from some of the trees to the west and to the east, although today it is quite windy, and we'll talk about that a little bit more. But this is hive number 1, and it's a very strong hive. If you have an ability to watch this on a larger screen, you might be able to see the pollen on the bees coming into the hive. The pollen is either going to be like a yellow or an orange color that you'll see on them. The second hive is one of our older hives here, and you're not going to see a lot of activity because this hive has pretty much died. The queen has not made it from one season to another. We tried requeening it. It did not take, so we're hoping at some point that we can perhaps catch a swarm, install it in this hive, and have it go from there. So for right now, though, we're just going to let it sit here. The third hive is doing fantastic. There was a lot more activity about 10 minutes ago, the bees going in and out, but the wind has really picked up right now where we are at, and because of that, there's just not as many bees that are kind of coming out of the hive. So, but that'll get better later. Our fourth hive is a new one from this year. We installed it from a package of bees, and package basically is a box of about 3,000 to 4,000 bees with a queen that comes with it, and we literally just put it inside the hive. We'll have another video at some point that will go over exactly how we did that. Alright, so back here is another one of our newer hives from a package of bees. It is doing fantastic so far. The deep here only has about 5 pulled out frames. Once we get a few more frames pulled out, we'll add another deep to that hive. Same thing with this one, although this one only has maybe about 4 frames pulled out right now, so it's lagging just a smidgen behind. No big deal. It'll catch up, and it'll take the rest of the season for it to really build up, but it's going to do quite well. We're very happy with it. This final hive is one that we tried using a nuke to populate the hive with. A nuke is basically 5 frames of bees with some honey and a queen, but when we installed it and came back to check it the next week, basically there was no sign that there was a queen there, and so this hive is pretty much just sort of dying out with a few stragglers left. And again, it's something that we hope to be able to add a swarm to at some point in the very near future. So 5 strong hives, 2 pretty much empty hives, but it gives us the ability to be ready to add new bees in at any point if we were to capture a swarm. So that's all good. Now we're going to show next our water feeding stations. First up, we have a sugar water feeding station, which we usually feed sugar water over the winter to just try to help provide nutrition and hydration for the bees. We had these containers left over that we just wanted to use up. Over there is our water feeding station. Last year we had issues with getting enough water to the bees in their old location, and so this year we installed this water station, which is basically just like a planter box. At the bottom of the planter box, there's a bunch of larger rocks for the bees to stand on. That's a 5-gallon bucket of water with holes in the bottom to basically just allow a certain few inches of water out so the bees have a constant source of hydration. When you don't have enough water for your bees, not only do they not do as well, but the honey itself is more concentrated, and we found that to be reflected in just, last year's honey crop. This is a pollen feeder, and the pollen feeder basically in the beginning of the season for the bees after winter, they need pollen to start producing honey. And so at this point, the flowers haven't really been blooming in this area. We just went through a blizzard of sorts with 14 inches of snow, so the flowers haven't really come up yet. So we basically wanted to provide them with a source of pollen so that they could really get a nice jump start. We're going to walk over on the west side. You can see that these are newly planted trees. They've only been planted in the last, half dozen years or so. So they're coming up nicely, and as they grow, they're going to provide an even stronger windbreak. And then finally, this is our swarm trap, and this is where we hopefully will grab a swarm at some point. Basically, this is just a lightweight planter box on the side. This is supposed to last all season. Within the planter box, there is a lure for the bees with some queen pheromones in there. And hopefully, if we can grab a swarm at some point, basically we can just then install it right into one of our already made hives. So this is our apiary. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Have a great day.